Can you see me here? Hear me correctly? Clearly? Yeah. Awesome. Let's begin our session for today. Keep your back and neck straight. Sit comfortably wherever you are. And very gently close your eyes. Begin to observe your breath. Just follow the natural flow of your breathing. Don't make any changes. Check the alignment of your posture. Take a few moments to adjust your posture so that you are comfortable and stable after your adjustment. Slowly come back to your breathing and begin to deepen the breath. Use the breath to relax your mind. We will open today's session by chanting Om 3 times, followed by 3 Shantis. Take a deep inhalation for Om. 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 Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Join your palms together and begin to rub your palms together. Keep the palms on the eyes. Very slowly, while blinking and looking at your palms, begin to open up your eyes and come back with a big smile. Let us begin our session for today. So today we are beginning with the practices of pranayama finally. Okay, so all the pre-practices, they are done before you step into the pranayama. But because we have so many pranayams in the syllabus, I won't be able to give a lot of time to each and every pranayam. So try to catch the technique, because eventually it's going to boil down to your personal practice only. But you just have to make sure that in these classes you catch the techniques properly, so that no mistake is done when you are going for your personal practice. Okay, we're going to practice in the class also, like we have been, but again, these practices, they will require a lot of time for you to perfect. Yeah, like even abdominal breathing requires a lot of time to perfect, right? So but when it comes to pranayam, again, it will take a longer period of time. So just try to understand the technique as much as possible, right? So the first pranayam that we are going to learn about is called Suryavedan Pranayama, okay? Suryavedan Pranayama. This, in English, this is also known as right nostril breathing or vitality stimulating breath. So the term, let's just break down the name itself. Surya is means sun, and in Hatha Yoga we know that the right side is associated with the sun type of energy. So sun or Pingla Nadi. Pingala, Pingla, Nadi, Nadi, and Vedan. This term means to pierce or awaken. Okay, so this practice, like you can see, it is working on the awakening of the Pingla Nadi. It purifies the Pingla Nadi. The more you go, like do the practice, it will lead to the purification of the Pingla Nadi, and as a result of this practice, all the things associated with the right nostril, they are also going to get activation. So you can see it in the form of the masculine energy. So we are a combination of both feminine and masculine energies, right? And both of them are important. So the drive, the motivation, this is given to us like by the masculine energy, right? So when that becomes more dominant, we do more, right? And the feminine energy is more about nurturing, and it's about relaxation, yeah, and the emotions, right? And masculine energy is more about the actions that you take, all the tasks that you do. So when you go for this practice, then all of these characteristics and traits, they begin to show up, right? This practice overall, the sympathetic nervous system of the body, if you see in scientific terms, so that is associated with the fight and flight response of the body, right? So that system gets activated, right? And the right nostril is connected to the left hemisphere of the brain. So all the functioning of the left hemisphere of the brain. So I think left is mostly associated with the logic, right? The analytical portion that that gets activated if you want to understand in terms of science, right? So if you want to work on if your desire is to go towards that side to um, give more time and energy to these things, then Suryabhedhan is the practice for you, right? So I'll quickly demonstrate the practice. Even though I said this before also, again from today, because we are beginning pranayams, again I'm saying stability of posture is key. Okay, if your body keeps moving, if you keep falling asleep when you are practicing, then again the instability in the body will come up, the dullness of the mind. This leads to falling asleep again and again. So then your pranayam, again, it will not give you the kind of benefits and results that it ideally should. So keep your body stable throughout your practice, right? For pranayams, sitting postures are very, very important. So your posture should be like any posture where your spine remains straight. And I already told you, if you are facing the shoes, what you can do. You can sit against the wall. You can use cushions for beginner. Okay, eventually you have to work towards removing all of these things and attaining the stability of the body. But you guys can go ahead and take some support also, as long as the stability and the posture is maintained. Okay, so sitting posture should be there, back, neck straight, very, very important, right? And the body should be comfortable. If you start with a posture where it's hurting a lot, it's paining a lot, then you won't be able to focus too much on your practice. So go for any comfortable posture whenever you sit for pranayam practices. Padmasana is the one of the most ideal postures that you can adopt, the lotus pose, right? Suryabhedhan, again, you adopt the mudra like you do in Anulom Vilom and Nadi Shodhana. Okay, so with your right hand, you form any of the two mudras that I taught you before. And in this, because it is the activation of the right nostril, you take the inhalation through the right side. Okay? So you do some 3 practices. Then when you begin this practice, you exhale fully, and then you close the left nostril. Okay, so now when we close the left nostril, we begin to inhale through the right side. Okay. Once you inhale from the right side, inhalation is complete. Close the right nostril and open the left nostril, exhale. Again, you have to close the left nostril, open the right nostril, and inhale through the right side. Close the right nostril, open the left nostril, exhale. These are 2 rounds. I just demonstrated 2 rounds. So the key characteristic feature of Suryabhedhan is inhalation is always through the right. Exhalation is always through the left. This is the traditional practice. Okay, this is the traditional practice, and in the traditional practice, there is the mention of internal retention also. So we will not do any pranayam with retention, because retention is again very advanced technique. So we are only going to go for continuous flow, but eventually when you develop your practice, you can inhale through the right side, hold the breath in, close both the nostrils, and then exhale through the left side. Try to keep the inhalations and exhalations equal in the beginning. So 1:1 ratio is ideal, and eventually come to 1:2 ratio. Okay, so exhalation should take twice the time. Today we are going to go for a very, very simple practice. Inhalation and exhalation should be equal for today, but this I'm telling you, as you progress, you can make the exhalation double. And especially when you are doing the retention, I already told you the science behind the retention. So when you are doing the retention, the exhalation should be always double the time, so that all the toxins are released from the body. You can again begin with 1:1:1, but eventually you first ratio that you increase when you um, when you incorporate the retention, first practice that you have to increase is the exhalation. Okay? Then you begin to increase the retention. First focus should always be increasing the exhalation. All right. So yeah, other forms of this practice, you will see inhalation and exhalation both take place through the right side, but this is a variation. Okay, so if you come across this practice, if you find this anywhere, don't get confused. There are a lot of variations that have come up of different pranayams. So if somebody is making you inhale and exhale through the right side only, then that practice also in some places that counts as Suryabhedhana. Okay, in only some places, but original practice, the traditional practice is inhale through the right, exhale through the left. All right. Now, some things that you have to take care of. So Suryabhedhan, because Suryabhedhan is a heating pranayam. Okay, so this comes in the category of heating pranayams. So when you do this practice, after that, your body will get warmer. Okay, if right now your temperature is at a particular level, the body heat will increase after this pranayam. So what some people do is they say, okay, it's good for digestion, so let us sit and do this practice after we eat the food. Okay. So again, in the beginning only I told you guys that pranayam should not be done after eating the food. It will, even if a pranayam is going to increase your digestive capability and is beneficial for your digestion, it should not be practiced after eating a meal, because it will again take the energy that is directed towards the digestion process at that point of time. Okay. Suryabhedhan pranayam should not be over practiced, because this is not leading to a balance. This is activation of one side. Okay, so if you over practice this, then again you might experience some imbalance that is there. So prolonged practice of Suryabhedhan is never recommended. Only go for a few rounds in the beginning, and you can start with 10 to 15 rounds, and then you can increase your practice. But if you choose to increase your practice, again you have to be in touch with a teacher who can guide you correctly. Okay, in the beginning, 10 rounds, 15 rounds maximum, that is good enough for you. This practice should not be done in summer. So pranayams are also, season specific, at least for common people. In some seasons, they should not be practiced. So because this increases the warmth in the body, if you do it in summers, already there is so much heat outside, then you are generating heat inside. So you might end up with headaches, you might end up with a lot of discomfort in your body. So this practice is, on the contrary, great for winters. Okay, suppose you are in a very cold environment, right, and you feel really cold. Some people, they feel cold very easily, right? So this practice internally only increases the temperature of the body. So with those people, this practice becomes a savior kind of thing, right? So yogis were very intelligent, right? So they did not use heaters, they did not use ACs, they changed their breath, and that is how, and why they are able to survive in such extreme conditions, or they are able to go into isolation, because going in isolation is not easy, right? But they devised the ways to, survive in those types of environments. And Suryabhedhan and all the other practices that I will tell you, they're going to change the temperature of the body in one way or another. So for yogis, when it was very cold, they did this practice in order to increase the warmth of their body. Okay, any doubts so far? All right, great. So in case of any
One thing, ma'am, you said that we should not practice it at a place where it is so hot. But 10 to 15, like right now, if we practice, and I'm at a place where it's very hot, like I'm in Mumbai, and Mumbai temperature is very bad. So as practice per se, it's fine, right?
So today we are only going for like introductory practice, right?
Okay.
So it will not affect you too much. I was going to say this only. In case of any discomfort or dizziness, at that point of time, you have to suspend the practice completely. So when, we teach throughout the year, right? So in summers,
Yeah.
when I was teaching, a student had a headache after doing this thing. So before that only, I told her that if you feel uncomfortable, you have to suspend the practice. So for you, when you are practicing, if at any point of time you feel, oh, headache is developing or my body is feeling too uncomfortable, suspend the practice. But like 10 to 15 rounds, ideally they will not impact you that much, right? Prolonged practices, have greater, because you're going for more rounds, of course the impact increases. Yeah. So again, wherever you are located, depending on that, you can. Today we are just experimenting. If you go for prolonged practices, again, it will have more and more impact, right? More and more headaches. So seasonal. These are seasonal kind of pranayams for us, for the normal people, right? So yeah. So Suryavedan. Yes. So let's come to people who cannot go for this practice. So Suryavedan should not be practiced by heart patients, high BP, right? So because again, it's working on increasing the heat. Anyone who has, hyperthyroid. So hyperthyroid is when the thyroid level is higher than the normal level. So in that case, you have to avoid the practice. Then in case of ulcers, peptic ulcers, you have to avoid this practice. In case of acidity also, you should avoid this practice. If someone has anxiety, do not introduce this practice. Okay. Hyperactivity, ADHD is another thing with they are very active, no? So this pranayama, it makes you active. So if they go for this practice, again, it will elevate their situation. Anybody who has a very, dynamic kind of mind, who overthinks, who has this tendency, mind is working too much. Suryabhedana is not the practice for them. If the pith is too much, like pith is excess in the body, again, do not introduce Suryabhedana to the students. So for asanas, it is, even though it is not that easy, but it is slightly easy, right? Because you introduce modifications, people generally, they are able to copy the posture also very easily. If I sit in a particular way, most likely you will see me and you will copy that thing, even if you are not doing it with the correct technique, right? But when it comes to pranayam, you actually have to keep more check on your students, who can practice, who cannot practice. So if you guys feel you fall, so I will give contraindications for all the pranayams. If you feel you have any such kind of condition, then you can go ahead and just do normal breathing at that point of time, or you can go for anulom vilom. You can go for some practice which is suitable, like which has less contraindications at that point of time. But this is not just for you. When students come to you, if you are suffering from something like this right now, then for you also this practice should not be done. Okay, so be very mindful, be very careful. Even though such a short practice will not impact you too much, but again, why do you even want to take the chance or the risk, right? So benefits. Suryavedan has immense benefits. First thing, because it increases the heat of the body. All the people who suffer from Vat and Kapha dosh, they find a lot of relief in after the practice of Suryavedan. So in Hatya Pradipika, also this has been written that it destroys the wind and the Kapha dosh, both of them. Right? This increases the body temperature, so it's a great practice for people who have chronic low BP. it's also working on your digestion. So the digestive fire that increases because of the practice of Suryavedan Pranayama. Okay. People who, they are very dull and lethargic, and if you feel very lazy, physical level, mental level, both the cases, after practicing Surya Bhedan, you will feel much more like active. You will feel like getting all the work done. So it helps you to get the work done both physically and mentally also. If the mind is very, very dull, it helps you to break out of that thing. So this is a great practice for people who face depression. If someone around you they face a lot of difficulty in communication and extroversion, again Suryabhedan can be introduced uh, to those students, and they will find a lot of benefits that arise due to their continued practice. Right? All other things, be it the increase of temperature, all the things that are, related to the right side, right nostril, all of those things get activated. So your sense of motivation, it goes up when you do Surya Bhedan. So everything related to the masculine energy have already discussed so many times, so I will not repeat. All of those benefits are going to come in, right? So if somebody needs that kind of push and stimulation, Suryabhedan is a very good practice. On a spiritual level, again, it cleanses the Pingla Nadi, which is very, very important because, and it also leads to the activation of the Pingla Nadi, which is quite important for us. And because you exhale through the left side, so indirectly the impurities of the Ida Nadi, they are also eliminated from the body, right? Because exhalation is taking place from the other nostril. Okay, so do you guys have any doubts? Um, in my view, I've covered all the things that you need to know. Any questions, any doubts? No? So let's practice. Let's see ourselves. So after a while, you will, when you breathe in also, no, you will feel that the breath is getting warmer and warmer. Okay, so your focus should be throughout the practice to see when you are inhaling, and even during the exhalation through the left side, you will feel that the breath is becoming more warm. Okay, so as you go for more and more rounds, you will see this thing. So let's sit in a comfortable posture. Keep the back and neck straight and very gently close your eyes. We will first work on preparing our breath. Start connecting with the breathing process. Slowly begin to deepen your breathing. Move into the practice of Puraka and Richaka. Keep your body stable. Make a mental resolution that you will not move your body until the end of the practice. If the pain becomes too unbearable, then you can slowly move your posture at the end of the practice. Don't move the body during the practice. We will begin with the practice of abdominal breathing. Exhale fully, contract your abdomen, and then begin your practice by inhaling and feel the abdomen rise out. As you exhale, contract your abdomen and bring it close to the spine. Continue your practice. Allow the breathing to gain more control over your breath. Mind should be focused as the abdomen moves. Complete 2 more breaths. And then you can suspend your practice. Come back to the normal breathing. Keeping the back and neck straight. Simply observe the natural flow of the breath and the change in your state of mind after your practice. You can change your posture before we begin with our next practice. Keep your back and neck straight. Prepare yourself for the practice of yogic deep breathing. Exhale fully. As you begin to inhale, feel the abdomen rise. Feel the rise in your chest and complete the breath as you feel slight rise in your collarbones. Directly go into the process of exhalation. Feel the collarbones relax. Just move in and complete the breath by squeezing your abdomen properly and exhaling out all the air from the body. Directly go into the process of inhalation. There should be no retention or break as you continue your practice. Keep the mind totally engaged as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Complete 3 more breaths and then relax yourself. Come back to the natural breath. Simply focus on the change after the practice. Keeping the back and neck straight. You can change your posture if you are feeling the need. We'll go for the practice of Anulom Vilom next. With the right hand, form the preferable mudra. Exhale fully. Close the right nostril and begin to inhale through the left side. Close the left nostril, exhale through the right side. After your exhalation, begin to inhale through the right side. Close the right nostril and exhale through the left side. This is one round. Continue your practice. Try to see if you have more control over your breathing. Then go for controlled inhalations and controlled exhalations. After your current round, just complete 3 more cycles. And then you can relax your hand. Go at your own pace. Keep the back and neck straight. Simply observe how you are feeling after the practice of Anulom Vilom. We will prepare for our final practice. Before we go into the practice of Suryabhedhana, keep your back and neck straight. Your body should be relaxed and stable. On the mudra with your right hand. Exhale fully. Close the left nostril and begin to inhale through the right nostril. Once you inhale, close the right nostril, open the left nostril and exhale. Again, close the left nostril, open the right nostril, inhale. Once you inhale, close the right nostril, open the left nostril and exhale. These were 2 rounds of Suryabhedhana. Continue your practice. Go for a few more rounds. Keep the focus mainly on the right nostril. As you are inhaling, you will feel the warmth of the air. Don't overstretch yourself. If you feel uncomfortable or dizzy at any point of time, suspend your practice. Try to keep each inhalation and exhalation equal. Go for 3 more rounds and then completely suspend the practice. Relax your hand. Keep the back and neck straight. And see the change from the practice of Anulom Vilom to the practice of Suryabhedhana. We'll end our session today by chanting Om one time. followed by 3 Shantis, keeping your back and neck straight. Take a deep inhalation for Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Join the palms together and gently bow down. Take a few moments in your day for a sense of gratitude. Begin to rub your palms together. Palms on your eyes. We'll do this one more time. Rub the palms together properly. Place them on your eyes. Whenever you feel ready, very slowly, while blinking and looking at your palm, begin to open up your eyes and come back with a big smile. Namaste, everyone. Okay, guys, any issues that you faced or were you able to feel the impact of the pranayama? Were you able to feel the warmth in the breath? A little? All right. Okay. A little. Yeah. No worries, no worries. The more you practice again, the more you will be able to understand it. So the headache did not happen. So that's a good thing. See, I told you, with 10, 15 rounds, generally nothing happens, right? But if you do it in the peak of summers, then even 10, 15 rounds might have a very, they might trigger a strong, they will trigger you strongly. They can, right? But I think overall right now, it's safe to practice. Yeah. So, okay, guys, I will see you tomorrow in the morning for philosophy. So take care, enjoy your classes, and bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.